Welcome to Tanked Up, the podcast about video games and beers. I'm Ben, and it's episode 205, I think. I'm here with Aadil.
Hey!
And Lucy.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Aadil, how you doing, dude? Oh, yes, alright, showing off. Showing off your little Final Fantasy VII thing.
Yeah, for some reason the autofocus on my camera is not working, so it just looks like a blurry piece of plastic. Which, to be fair, it is essentially a blurry piece of plastic, just less blurry. That's the first time I didn't even realize that there was a weird acrylic pre-order bonus. It just came with my copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
When's that out officially?
Next Friday on the 10th.
The 10th.
So just like, here you go.
I mean, they shot off some
Australia and Europe a bunch.
Yeah, some statements about how they were kind of getting stuff out early because of lockdowns in certain places, and they weren't sure about delivery processes, how quickly stuff would get shipped to those countries, how even when it was in those countries things would be distributed and stuff. So a lot of people in the UK have already got it, and everywhere is pretty much sold out because they only have X amount of stock, and that is it. That's all we've got.
Yeah, well, by the time that downloads to the hard drive, the day one patch will be out. So,
I didn't even think about day one patching being a week from now.
Well, that's a whole thing.
The way I figure it, so one, I was actually talking about delays and stuff was going to be my topic, and I just we've jumped into it now. So
we can open a beer and crack straight into that if you like.
But what I will say is, by the time it releases, I can just give you it. You can borrow it from me.
That's true. Ooh, tasty. Maybe I'll hold off.
Yeah,
hold off in buying all the cheap PSN credit and then trying to buy a ridiculously priced copy through the digital store.
Or you could wait 2 weeks.
Let's crack some.
That's true.
Get on sale for 30% off.
Yeah. Well,
why did I buy this day one?
Right. Let's open some beers. I'm gonna start. I'm very, very thirsty today. I got two very different beers this evening. I'm going to kick off with Northern Hellas from Donzoko. I've not had a beer from them before. This one, did you say you like that beer, Lucy?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Good. It is just, it's an unfiltered lager, 4.2%. I do like it's so simple, I really like their logo and their big D. The big D. Sorry. Northern Hellas is our flagship lager. We use classic German malt and ferment cold with a Swiss lager yeast strain for a clean malt backbone with notes of sweet, crusty bread. Our unique house acid culture is added in the brew house to control the pH level of beer and achieve a crisp, refreshing finish after fermentation. We top it all off by moderately hopping with New Zealand hops for hints of floral fruit, contemplating the crispness perfectly. No, not contemplating, complementing. Northern Hellas is hazy, served unfiltered, and perfect for cracking open with friends. Hey, exactly as I'm doing. Ingredients: barley, hops, and yeast, and water. Doesn't tell me exactly what everything is, but it gives a little hint about stuff. Donzoko are from Hartlepool. That's what I found out right now.
Yeah, I really enjoy that lager. So interesting to see what you think.
Yeah, I'm in a lager mood now. The weather's kind of turned a little bit as well. Lagers and lighter sort of stuff is what I've been thinking about. This can is hard to crack. Right, Lucy, you're already supping away. What you got there?
Despite my obvious love for beer, it says it right there. I'm not taking a week off, so I've got a cup of tea, brew of tea.
Nice, that's fair. Can't do it every week.
I think it's responsible to do it every week, so I'm just being very irresponsible right now. But I'm bringing the games this week, so...
Fair enough. I definitely am not. Surprising.
You see, we need balance.
That's it.
So,
what beer are you drinking, Aadil? Are you bringing like a 12% triple IPA to start with, or is it...
I'm drinking a double dry hopped black India Pale Ale from Evil Twin Brewing.
Ooh.
Called
Evil Twin.
The Check, please.
Check, please.
Nice. I like the art as well. It's clever.
Yeah, the like related computer text, really matrix color scheme except for the white. 7%. Obviously, Evil Twins in Brooklyn. Yeah. It doesn't. Unfortunately, they don't tell you at all anything. Like, I know it was double dry hops, but I don't know to which hops.
Mm. We're seeing, I don't know, we got to a point where almost everyone told you exactly what was in their beer, and we seem to have had a little bit of a, not a pushback as such, but people are keeping a bit more stumm about stuff these days.
Yeah.
Not quite putting on all of their ingredients. I don't know whether that's a specific effort to, keep things under wraps a little bit, or whether they just prefer other, retail space for on the can for other stuff, perhaps. But.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely notice it with like the cans that have a lot of weird, cool indie art.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know why. It kind of annoys me. I got quite used to it. It's the only reason I know some things about some hops is because I've drunk enough of things labeled, and I'm like, I guess it's that thing.
Yeah. Well, you're just gonna have to figure it out on your own.
Absolutely. I mean, Donzoko have chucked on a load of little tasting notes and stuff on their can to kind of give you, I guess, an understanding about what they were going for. This beer is super crisp. I didn't get much from the nose at all. Really, really light. It's just a little hint, a little estery hint, but I can't quite. It's maybe a bit more kind of light, sort of spice, a light sort of clove maybe from the nose. Super clear. I mean, it's hazy for a lager. Yeah. Almost no head to it whatsoever. It did pour with one that sort of filled, that portion of the glass up, but it's disappeared really quickly. But on the flavour, it's just really crisp. You're hit kind of instantly with that carbonation, and it almost rushes your mouth with that floral kind of flavour. There's a little bit of citrus in there as well, maybe a little bit of lemon, more than any other sort of citrus. And that sort of estery, spiced kind of note creeps in a little bit sort of towards the end and hangs around slightly. It helps to kind of dry you out and keep that flavour at least there for a little bit longer, perhaps. So whilst I'm drying, I want to sip this, and I want to sip this because it tastes really nice. It's really crisp, really refreshing. It doesn't make me, it's kind of just inviting me to through just this very nice flavour that I'm getting. I mean, this would have been perfect. Maybe the start of the week or the end of last week when the sun was blazing, middle of the day. This would have been perfect. Just to have gone, I'm gonna have a beer on lunch. I'm gonna sit in the garden while everyone's hanging out, doing stuff in their gardens. I'm done. You two could just talk now for the rest of the day.
It's a 500ml can, isn't it?
No, 440.
Oh, it's 440. Yeah. Okay.
I think it is 440. Yeah.
When someone nowadays, when someone mentions a lager, your go-to pick, that's the one I immediately think of.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps that, as you say, the can art is quite striking and simple. So, but yeah, I haven't really had many other Donzoko beers. That's the one I always see, the Hell's Lager, but I mean, it's great beer, so...
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. Aadil. That was the Evil Twin. It was a black IPA, wasn't it? Double dry hop black IPA, yeah.
It is. Very dark. It's actually more. I mean, it's quite brown in the light. I don't know if the camera will pick up. You can kind of see in the head.
Yeah.
In the rim.
Bit of light bleed in.
Now
it's almost a little kind of cola.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got a bit of a caramelly cola sort of. It smells a little, almost tropical, but a little sour tropical nose, but kind of light. Ooh. What is that? It's it finishes sort of with a bit of roasted coffee, toffee-ish, which is really nice. But right in the middle, there's this like really sort of sweet fruit, slightly tropical zing that sort of just comes and goes, and then it finishes quite wet, and like I said, a little roasted notes and a nice solid bitter, sort of low key bitterness. I can't really. It's not quite tropical. What is that zing?
It's a bit more sort of citrusy, kind of
zesty,
peely kind of.
Not quite peely, no. I'll have to. I'll have to think. I think.
Yeah.
Because it's just not coming to me.
Right.
But it's good. I like that it's quite viscous, but finishes kind of wet, despite that. Makes it easy to reach for again, but I don't feel forced to. But it has that body of a black IPA. You know?
Nice.
So, we'll leave it at that for now. If I can figure that out, I will let you know.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
So, we'll resume the conversation, shall we? Game delays or not in some cases.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of games do a lot of like minimal animation and stuff work in China, let alone like there's a lot of sort of outsourcing that devs do in various levels of game development to shops, primarily in China because of cheaper labor. And so it's like every stage of the pipeline is getting hit, not just the manufacturing and distribution and stuff of video games and their various paraphernalia. So it's, I mean, who knows when, what will be on time, what will be released or delayed. But like, I thought we could talk about the Square Enix approach of, we're actually going to open the curtains and like, this is the logistics these are logistical calculations. You're definitely getting it before release because you live here, because we were worried because there was uncertainty. And, don't be a dick. But also, like,
what do you mean by don't be a dick?
Like spoilers, streaming,
yeah,
etc. Yeah, they basically politely ask people not to ruin things for the people in the world who might not get it on time, let alone early, right? But yeah, so I just thought it was a very interesting PR move. I've never really seen a company, let alone a AAA company, do.
I think they'd rather get the copies out now and then just keep pushing the stock as soon as they have it.
Yeah.
Rather than people waiting and then cancel their pre-order.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you'll never get I've already lost the thing. Oh, there it is. You'll never get your little acrylic tchotchke thing.
Hey.
No. Who's that?
Really, my camera does not want to focus.
I don't know.
Cloud and
oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Sephiroth on it.
Little chocobo.
That's nice. Is it like kind of layered?
Oh.
So it's 3D.
Yeah, so it's like...
That's nice. That's cool.
Yeah, look. Say it's the world's easiest puzzle. Oh, there we go. I do like the
chopstick.
minimalistic anime Cloud. Because it evokes the the actual polygons of FF7 rather than the art.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna miss. I'm not gonna lie. What, these characters have fingers? This is not my FF7.
Just giant boxes instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting take for them to do that, especially as you kind of see kind of the rest of the industry almost a little bit quiet on this. Kind of no one really wants to say this is affecting our processes. This is affecting kind of where we get our discs pressed. When we can go gold and those sorts of things. And I know from kind of previous games such as Uncharted, I'm trying to remember how Jason Schreier wrote it in his book, but they essentially thought they were going to miss a pressing date. They wanted like a week longer to be able to polish some stuff, which then meant that they would miss a pressing date to have their game disc pressed. They then had to wait an entire month or 6 weeks or something to then be able to get the game pressed. So they ended up saying, we want a week's delay, and it meant that really they had to have a month or 6 weeks or something like that instead. And it's, with you saying it kind of, the shutdown, lockdown because of COVID-19 is going to affect kind of every level of this, whether it is getting discs pressed, whether it is an outsourcing team scheduling in what they were going to do for you, because again, if you're a new person trying to get into maybe their backlog of stuff now, you're going to be pushed down the line, which then might just push you out of that date that you had and push you 3 months sort of in. So it's kind of, it's difficult to know how people are going to kind of manage this. China's starting to come out of lockdown. People are going to be starting to pick work back up in those sorts of areas, but they're probably 2.5 to 3 months behind, because I would imagine a lot of stuff can't be done at home. Especially things like manufacturing of discs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that we're just seeing the first wave of it. Like, every game from here on out is going to be delayed in some fashion or another. They're just not saying it, but they don't need to. I think everyone knows that it's like, we'll give you a pass on this one because the whole world is a mess. So game development's a trash fire as it is, so there's no way like some of these bigger titles especially are going to come out on time. We've seen delays for Minecraft Dungeons, for Wasteland 3. Like, everything's going to be delayed. That's okay, because there's enough video games.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, actually, because it might give an excuse for companies to lean off of the crunch mentality. Hopefully, because, they could just have crunch that we don't know it, but this would be an opportunity for, look, it's getting delayed, we can't help it, so fuck it. Like, you also can't come in to work, and there's all these things. Maybe let's try to see how to make a game without unrealistic time.
Yeah. The only people who are set are Moon Studios, who make the Ori games, because they're all remote anyway. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, the whole studio is like remote. They all work in like 80 different countries or something like that.
Wow!
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I suppose again, anyone doing like a solo project as well, and I guess that might be something we see come out of this as a lot is more kind of solo stuff, a lot of shorter things, a lot of smaller kind of prototypes, and people who may not have thought about doing this before. Suddenly they're home from work, they haven't got anything to do for the foreseeable, so they get into coding and start making stuff and things, and suddenly see this. We have a very strong indie scene, and have done for several years now. After kind of like the crash and the middle, those AA games, and people like THQ, when they previously kind of stopped making games and stuff. When we saw that kind of disappear, the indie scene kind of exploded with that, and people kind of left those mid-tier studios and went out and did a lot of stuff for themselves. I think this is going to give another insurgence of smaller developers and things, and again, like other studios going to remote working and being able to just talk to each other via the beauty of the internet and doing everything that way. It's not inconceivable at all. It'll
definitely enforce contingency plans, if anything else. And hopefully that, as Aadil said, hopefully that will make a shift in like the culture in general. So, or we could all just be at the bottom of the ocean by the time Cyberpunk comes out anyway. So.
I thought Cyberpunk was set up to be a modern game, like it's supposed to come out in 2077.
Day and date with its title. Like,
it will be modern because the world will look like Cyberpunk by September anyway.
Technology has accelerated so quickly in the next 3 months that next time you tune in, I've just got a robotic arm. Lucy's just a brain. It's,
I'm buddies with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, I want to be buddies.
You constantly just stare off at the edge of the screen because only you can see him. Just like, why are you here, Keanu Reeves? What are you doing here?
Aadil is rocking the Keanu look right now.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Yeah,
why are you watching me shower, Keanu? Get out of the bathroom.
I would let him watch me shower. Got no problem with that.
I watched John Wick.
I had a shower though.
I watched John Wick 2 and 3 back to back like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, because they're both on Netflix, right?
Yeah, and I think John Wick 3 is the best.
Really? Ooh.
I haven't seen it yet.
Someone gets.
No, I haven't watched it.
He makes horses like buckaroo and kick people to death like twice in that film. And there's this whole, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's this whole scene with some dogs, and it's the best out of all of them. It's so
I do enjoy how John Wick is kind of a modern 80s action film.
Yeah, I was watching that and
yeah,
it's like, this is how I felt when I was watching like, like stuff like Terminator and RoboCop and stuff like that. That just smiling feeling of how stupid and dumb and over the top.
Yeah.
Like
I want to
violence
rewatch John Wick 1 and 2 before I watch 3, I think. But we should try and do a party watch.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I
maybe not all 3.
No, I mean, 2 and 3.
6.
They do just like lead into like one another. Like it's like where one ends, 2 picks up. So it'd be. I think they're quite long films, to be honest. I think the third one's like over 2 hours long, maybe.
Really?
So I'm sure it is, or maybe it's an hour 40 or something like that. But yeah, it'd be an undertaking. But it does make sense to like watch them sequentially, like one after the other, boom, boom, boom.
I think the thing that like John Wick has over a lot of those 80s films is like the production value. You're not seeing the same
and
house
the choreography
explode like 6
Wilhelm
times.
Scream.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure that
don't
must,
make fun of the Wilhelm scream.
That's in every film.
Yeah,
it might not be in John Wick.
I hope it is.
Yeah,
I'd be
just
sad.
one guy really quietly in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, great film.
Did anyone play the John Wick? Did anyone play Mike Bithel's John Wick game?
Did you buy it in the end?
I didn't. I think Aadil might have.
I bought it, but I can't install it now that I have a computer to run it because my domain expired, and I didn't. It for some reason wasn't on auto renew, and ever since then I can't get any emails from the Epic Games Store.
Oh yes,
which means I can't authorize 2-factor authentication on this computer. Which means for the first time I was like, cool, I'm gonna open Epic Games Store to install and play a game. Nope, can't do it.
No.
And I sent them a help ticket, but of course I sent it using an alternate email address because I didn't want it to just be still. I'm assuming something like it bounced enough times, enough emails bounced that they put me on a blacklist or something. Like their emailer, I'm guessing, but like
Possibly.
I didn't even get a notification that my ticket was submitted correctly. So it's like, I guess my Epic Games Store account is just gone.
No.
Like, I don't know what else to do.
All those free games.
That you
Did
have.
you spend much money in there?
I put some money in. Like I bought John Wick Hex.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if I've bought anything else on it.
Well, at least, yeah.
I can't remember.
It's not the worst loss.
I mean, I can still I could find out because I can still log on to it on my laptop. Because I know the password and the cookie is there. But as soon as that cookie dies, I'll lose all access.
Yep. Is there a way? There's a way with Google. You can find your passwords.
Oh yeah. That's how I know the password.
Yeah.
That's how I know. But the problem is, I put the right password in, and it says for security reasons, because we're not used to this computer.
Yes.
We're sending you this.
To your email.
Yeah.
That you don't have.
And then I tried to disable two-factor, and they're like, to disable it, we're sending you. And I was like,
please produce a vial of blood.
It's just like,
send it to Tim.
You're telling me you're sending me these things, but you aren't. I would like to do something. I would like why can't I access your shitty product?
Because it's just that. I'm surprised they even have an avenue for you to troubleshoot. Anyway.
I'm sure it's just like nothing, right? Like,
speaking of the Epic Games Store, if you were able to get Mutazione, was it last week or the week before?
It was last. Yeah, it will be the week before now. Yeah.
I did get it apparently.
Yeah, I enjoyed that game. I played it on Apple Arcade. Took a lot of screenshots because it's got beautiful art. And yeah, definitely, you know, it's free if you've got it, or if you want to sign up for Apple Arcade, definitely recommend it. It's a nice, relaxing cup of tea game. You can have a cup of tea in one hand and just control it with another one. I use controller on the iPad. It's basically a game. It's like I guess you could call it an adventure game. It's like a 2D adventure game where you're this girl and she's basically going back to her maternal grandfather's. Well, it isn't his homeland, but it's where he's settled, and it's all about like finding your roots and going back to a place where it's like, oh, everything's foreign here. It's not what I'm used to. It's not the city or something like that. I mean, in the game, there's literal mutants, so it's like, oh, everybody's different here. But when you find out, it's like a soap opera. You find out like the lives of the, residents is a very tight knit community, and you just find out, oh, their lives aren't that much different to everybody else's people who live in the city and stuff like that. And it's just, it becomes like just getting to know the people on the island. You're there for like over the course of a week. It's about an 8-hour game, I'd say. And yeah, it's just really well written. The art's great. You do a little bit of gardening now and then. It's pretty. Ooh. It's really good. So.
I have started it.
Yeah.
So I'm probably about, 30 or 40 minutes in, something like that. I've managed to find a little bit of time for. And I was kind of in the middle of doing some work. It was lunch the other day, and I thought I'll start it. And then I went back to doing some work, but left it open in the background because I'm doing some 3D modeling at the moment, and occasionally it takes a little bit of time to render when I'm spinning around the objects and stuff like that. So I can jump back in whilst that's doing what it needs to. But whilst I kind of just had it on in the background, the music's just playing through. Yeah. And even though it was quite repetitive, it's so chill. It's really good.
Yeah.
And as you say, like the
chilled out experience.
The writing is really good as well. So there was this little, as soon as kind of like I was on the island and I kind of had that first interaction with the grandfather, and then come out of the house to sort of walk around and start to look for the people that they've kind of suggested to go and look for. I bumped into these 3 little like beans, and they're just having this conversation, and just as a conversation, as any conversation kind of would go. But this one bean is just off to the side saying, "Nah, mate, I'm not up for mermaids." I'm like, have you ever seen a mermaid before? He's like, "Yeah, well, no, I've heard about them. They're all like sharp teeth and spiky claws and stuff." And they're just like, "What, mate? What's going on?" And like the Kai, the girl, she just doesn't say anything. She's just like,
Yeah.
Okay, and just like
Yeah.
leaves, like brilliant.
Those capitalist beans are like the humour to that game. But there is like some other funny moments, and there's like some touching moments and heartfelt moments. But yeah, continue playing.
Yes.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on.
Yeah, absolutely. I rolled into it straight off of playing a short hike.
Oh yeah.
Again,
yeah.
something else. Something else you've spoken about. You know, a little bit on an episode, Lucy. And again, yeah, another nice chill kind of game. And again, funny writing. Even calls out that it isn't a short hike whatsoever. I mean, it is. It's a short game.
Yeah.
But there's so much stuff to do. It's not just, hey, go to the top of this mountain. It's, what are all these people up to? What interaction can you have with them? What are you going to do? Like, all about this young kind of female character finding herself. And, you know, kind of overcoming, you know, the idea that she doesn't really... Or not that she doesn't want to be there, but there's something kind of in the background which is taking her attention away, and you kind of get that relief when you get to the top of the mountain and stuff like that. So
that made me cry.
Did it?
Last year.
Yeah, I can understand why.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was brutal. Yeah, so many games make me cry these days. I'm just that's why games are for babies. That's why I'm a baby. So cry. Speaking of games I've cried at. Could talk about Ori.
Yes, let's talk about Ori.
Have you had any bit of luck playing it, Ben? Or
no, I haven't tried. I haven't tried. Supposedly, I was listening to Waypoint from Monday, and Patrick Klepek was talking about Ori a little bit more, and he said that there is a patch coming for PC next week.
Oh, brilliant.
So I will jump back into it at some point next week, perhaps, and see if there is any change. Otherwise...
Okay.
I mean, I could order a 365. You could send one down in the post, Luce, and you know who knows how long that will actually take to get about 4 weeks. You know, I could be quicker for me to wait for the virus to have let us go out of our houses and go buy one probably. But yes, I'm going to wait for it. But we'll you know we can return to Ori with my thoughts later. But let's get what you thought about it.
Yeah, well, it's not really a game you can spoil, to be honest, but I'll just say it's my favourite game that I've played this year. It was up to a point Kentucky Route Zero, but now Ori, it being a Metroidvania and 2D and you know everything that I like, it's just surpassed pretty much everything I've played this year so far. Yeah, I mean, if anyone didn't play the first or in the Blind Forest, you definitely should owe it to yourselves. But I remember the developers saying, Moon Studios, who we were talking about before, they were saying how they wanted this to be like the Super Mario Bros. 3 to like Super Mario Bros. 1. And just in terms of, we've got this framework, but we're just going to build upon it and make it something that we couldn't have even foreseen back then.
Right, yeah.
They absolutely have. It's better than Ori and Blind Forest in literally every single way, and that's not to say that the first game was bad. This is just incredibly good, apart from a few performance issues, but I don't want to belabor that point, because I found it fine. I played it on Xbox and PC. It definitely hitched up in, like the main hub area, like, every time I went there. But other than that, like, in terms of just, like, playing it, it was buttery smooth for me, so I'm fortunate that I didn't really have many issues. And the ones that I did have, it was just like, you know what, this is, in terms of the music, that orchestral score, the look of it, like how everything like reacts and how everything's got like particle effects and stuff like that. The could get throughout the game, because you, like any Metroidvania, you go through it and it's like, oh, I see that item up there, I see that Chozo tree or whatever you call it in this game up there. I wonder at what point, I wonder what ability I'm going to get to come back and get there. And these abilities just stack and stack, and then you're just like, oh Christ, I never foresee, you know, I couldn't tell that this would be the ability that I get. This opens up a whole new world for me to explore now. and yeah, it just ramps so well. Progression's always there, exploration's there. You got the side quests, which are not the most in depth, but it's like it's more flavour to the game. But yeah, it's superb. I love it.
Nice,
it's so good.
How does it kind of stack up against like a more modern Metroidvania? You know, when we kind of talk about Metroidvanias, we're always looking back to like these original games, and lots of people make kind of 8 or 16-bit or 32-bit kind of Metroidvanias these days as kind of not as throwbacks and stuff, but to kind of evoke that sort of sense even through the games you're playing. But we've had a few, and I'm not talking the sort of like the third person, stuff like Control and stuff, which have those Metroidvania elements. I mean, more like something like Guacamelee,
stuff like that,
these sort of like these 2D kind of side-scrolling ones. Is it kind of easy to control? I mean, I remember Guacamelee kind of ramping up those abilities, but actually it was quite easy to be able to do everything. And kind of once you had all of those kind of abilities, there were a few challenging bits, but actually it was kind of, I wouldn't say easy, but you could kind of, you understood through playing the game what you needed to do. Yeah,
the tools were there so even though the challenge was there, it's not like you were disadvantaged, because it's like, no, the game's giving you all the tools up to this point to, mix and match like your combat abilities. In like Guacamelee, and that's the same in this game as well. I'd say Guacamelee is a bit more like narrow in that sense, because like certain enemies you had to do certain moves to, like some enemies you had to ground pound, some you had to punch through. But yeah, Guacamelee, I loved that first game. The second one I enjoyed, but I think it was a bit more linear and not as I thought it was too easy. Whereas the first one had that right level of challenge.
Yes.
In terms of how Ori feels compared to like other games, I think it's one of the best feeling, like in terms of gameplay games, Metroidvanias that there is. So it's different to Hollow Knight, because Hollow Knight is very much more like focused and slow and methodical, whereas in this one Ori's just flying all over the place like a ninja. So
yeah,
it's a lot more free flowing, but it's so good. I'm just thinking of like some of those chase sequences, how they mix up the chase sequences in like the bosses. Like you have chase sequence, then combat, and then it just flows again into a chase sequence and then combat again. It's just, I really wish that you could just replay those sequences, because they are breathtaking. Like, there's no other word for it.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish was that it was a bit harder. I thought it was quite easy. Maybe it's because I found like a lot of the collectibles and I just felt really OP. Like even right from the beginning, just killing dudes, and it's just like, oh yeah. And then just taking like damage just wasn't even a factor at one point. It's just like, I have like 16 hearts at this point, so but, yeah, play it. I really hope you do get the chance to play it, Ben, because it is.
One way or another, I will. Yeah. I will play it this year. Absolutely.
It is phenomenal. Yeah.
I don't know when that'll be, but at some point. I mean, if all the games are delayed, then exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Neither am I. So
it's fair.
Yeah. At some point, I will get to play it. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, from everything you said about it, I absolutely want to be able to kind of jump onto this.
Yeah.
It's one of those Microsoft exclusive kind of games that I've been interested in, and interested in kind of almost from its announcement. There's been other games, stuff like State of Decay. I'm like, that's a cool idea. I really like that. I that's something I'd like to play. But kind of when you hear the reviews about something like State of Decay or State of Decay 2 when it came out, and the issues that kind of it had, that put me off. Ori, I don't think there's really anything that's ever kind of put me off from it. It's spoken about very, very highly, really. And yes, there's some technical issues and stuff that people have chatted about. But even over stuff like Gears of War or Halo, these big marquee kind of titles, that Xbox and Microsoft put out. I think Ori is definitely kind of the top one for me that I've wanted to experience.
Yeah, for me, it's probably one of their best, quote unquote exclusives. I'm sure it'll come to Switch at some point. But yeah, it's one of those where it's like, because everyone prior to who had played Ori and the Blind Forest, everyone knew like there's no way this game is going to be anything other than spectacular. So it's like, you know, it's a sure thing. And just after like one game, they had that reputation. Can't wait to see what they do next.
Was Blind Forest 2016? 2015?
15, yeah.
15. So it's been 5 years roughly between games, and it came out on Switch last year.
Yes, around September, October.
So I'd say roughly 4 years for a Switch release. You might see something a little bit sooner than that. For Will-O-Wisp for a Switch release, but
if they iron out those issues, then that would be great on Switch. But it's great playing it on a big screen because you want to see like all that beauty. That's why like I started Guacamelee on PS Vita, and I didn't enjoy it until I played it on Xbox.
Yeah,
because it's like you need a big screen for that game because it's so beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, even playing it on my my monitor, like just the particle effects, even in that opening prologue, and the atmosphere, the lighting, the sort of the day-night differences, and kind of what you get, and the glow from some of the forest and things like that. Like, it works really, really well. Like, it looks beautiful, as you say. And Ori kind of has this little glow as well, like just to stand out from the background, just that little bit. And it just, it's definitely. I'm kind of not angry that I'm not playing it. I'm very annoyed. That the DS4 didn't work very well with Game Pass.
I think what's worse is that half of it works. You wouldn't know that it would be completely unplayable until I told you, no, you absolutely do need the triggers. Because I thought you didn't, and I was like, played it again, I was like, oh wait, you absolutely do. So but I get it, but it's like, come on, it should just be plug in and play at this point. I bet on Steam it would work if the DS4. So. Bit weird.
I mean, it's just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Game Pass on PC isn't optimized to use a DS4. Even pretending it's a Steam controller, and going into Steam and setting up some presets, and then going back into Game Pass, it recognized that it was a Steam controller, but it didn't quite gel with the template that I'd picked for it. So I mean, and there might be a way for me to be able to go and find something that does work and search through sort of Steam templates and things like that. But I mean, I just want it to fucking plug and play.
I think you're the only person in probably Britain who doesn't have a 360 controller.
I have two actually, because one came with my Oculus.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they had that partnership, didn't they?
Yeah,
I thought everyone who owned a PC had a Xbox controller.
Yeah.
I thought they were handing them out in the streets for free.
I've never really needed one. Like most of my PC games I played were strategy games, or city builders, management sims, stuff like that, mouse and keyboard style games.
That is true.
It's only more recently that I've wanted to use. Well, I say more recently. I think I played Mad Max through Steam a few years ago. I think that was probably the first game that I actually plugged the DS4 in for. And that was maybe 3 years ago now-ish. And I played that late. I mean, it came out before that. I played it late. So, I hadn't really done it. And then since, kind of every time I'm playing on the PC now, unless it again is a city builder or something, I'm plugging the DS4 in. And it works perfectly with Steam now. I used to have to run some third-party software to get it to play.
I remember when it was. I always used to have to Steam, and it was like, okay, I go to the store page. Does it have controller support? Oh, it's partial. Oh my god, that's an improvement over just none. It used to be okay. No game has controller support, but standard now. They all come with at least partial controllers.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that comes as part of the update for Ori. I mean, if it doesn't, it doesn't. I will just work it out a different way. I'll borrow a pad from Aadil when we're allowed to see each other and exchange items.
I'll just put
nothing other than an airlocked bag.
Yeah, I was just saying, I'll just put my Steam controller in the street, and whenever you want, you can pick it up because no one else is going to fucking take it.
That is true. You could probably just leave something right in the street and it wouldn't get stolen at this point in time.
Especially if it's a Steam controller. No one wants that thing.
I think
everyone's got one. Everyone bought like some for their 12 for their family. For £1.
The Steam controller seems to be the only thing. I remember the Steam Link went on sale for like 50p. Or something ridiculous. It wasn't quite that cheap, but I remember
postage was more than the thing
yeah,
itself.
it was. It absolutely was. I think there was a game that I haven't played that is in my Steam library that was about £5, and you got the Steam Link for free if you bought that game. So I'm like, I'll buy that game. It's £5, and then you're like, oh, it's £8 to ship it. Well, to be fair, I'll do it anyway. Why not? I play my PC games in my lounge now.
It's worth it if you're going to use it.
I mean, yeah, which I haven't done since moving here, but I used it a lot in the previous place.
Yeah. Why not though?
But yeah, Steam controllers never seem to have quite dropped. They've been on sale a little bit, but I mean, they may have dropped now. I don't know whether they're supporting it that much, or coming up with another one, or whether they even give a shit. Who knows? They're so VR focused, I think, these days that stuff like that isn't even a thought really to them. So yeah, and this is where we don't move into talking about Half-Life, Alex, because of course we fucking only one of us has the capacity to actually play it, but probably not.
No, I don't have a PC that can run the VR gear that's in a box.
I have the PC, just not the
I should
any capability. I do not have the physical capabilities.
Hang on, I mean, so I'm getting a pad from Aadil, he's getting a PC from you, or you're getting a headset from him. What have I've got to give someone something at some point, haven't I?
I mean, I still have like 3 of your games, don't I?
Oh, that's yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's about time I lent you a game.
Yeah. Because people who play Half-Life Alex
I'm actually going to play this game. I'm really excited about this one.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah. To be honest, I almost just started Final Fantasy 7 OG this week, but I was like, oh shit, they're gonna. When I heard the rumors that UK was getting this one.
On Cloud
early, I was like, fuck, no, I'll just wait.
Cloud and
Cloud
Dude,
Strife
and the girl,
Black Dude,
girl,
other girl,
which
and
girl?
Big
Wait.
Sword.
Other girl.
There's more.
Tree girl. Third girl. Background girl.
Background girl now has speaking role in new game thanks to the demo.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was thinking of Yuffie, mate. She's not even there, is she yet?
Donald Duck.
I don't think Yuffie's in
Goofy.
this. I don't think a single bit is Yuffie on this 2-disc set. They said it was like basically Midgar. Like it's gonna be the one thing I'll have trouble is if it ends up being quite short, then projects to being like 7 episodes. I'll have a hard time not going on Twitter being like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
So
before the 10th,
I did have a little peek at an article earlier, which was talking about the trophies, and saying that there is a bronze trophy for every chapter that you beat, and I think it said there were 18 chapters, perhaps. Interesting that it's been split into chapters. I don't know whether they've just taken like a hard cut between certain scenes and gone, this is a new chapter. I don't know why they need to do that, or whether it's just a terminology for hitting a certain point and getting a trophy for that.
You finished chapter 12, and it's like, I was on chapter 3 like 10 minutes ago. Just like, all right.
Where did all these trophies come from? What's going on? Yeah. The 20 minutes Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and you get 50 trophies or something ridiculous for it. Right, I'm going to open up another beer.
1,000 gamer score Final Fantasy 7.
I wholly expect Final Fantasy VII Remake to come to Xbox on its full release.
Yeah.
Is it not? Is it
No.
just PlayStation?
Just PlayStation.
Shows how much I care about this game. Continue. Had no idea it was an exclusive.
Right, I'm opening up a beer. I still have saved to record with a beer from my Left-Handed Giant delivery. This is Left-Handed Giant and a collab with Exale. Exale Brewing. It is called... yes. It's called Wood, Smoke and Sugar. It's an imperial stout with smoked malt and wood chips at 9%.
Nothing like drinking wood chips.
It tells me that the malts are best Rauch malt, R-A-U-C-H malt, Rauch malt, roasted barley, brown, crystal chocolate. Oh no, sorry, crystal chocolate, flaked barley. Other in this is brown sugar, toasted maple and walnut wood chips. It's got a fucking chips. Hell demon, hell wolf.
Nice.
Oh, I like
can.
that.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome can.
I like the things coming out of the eyes.
Speaking
That's all the
of
smoke,
we
mate.
should talk about Doom.
Oh yes,
I have
we
not
should.
much to say.
Oh. Oh. Let's pour these beers and then we can think about that. Aadil, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking something that we've talked about on the podcast before. I'm breaking the unofficial rule, but we're in crisis mode, so fuck it. Also, I didn't have it. I think Lucy did. I searched the site for the tags.
There's a rule?
It's
I've
an older
Steady
beer.
Rolling Man like 10 episodes in a row on it. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, I've had that one.
Have you had that? I have not. It was literally gathering dust at the bottle shop I had never been to before, but went to before all the things closed.
Yep.
Yeah. It's called There's Nothing Wrong with Dreaming, and it's a Deya Wylam collaboration. It's a Sabro Orange Wit. Its hops are surprising no one, Sabro T90. The additions are orange and coriander. And it is 5.8 lovely percentage points.
Yeah, I think I had that on tap. I remember Ben had the can.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first beers I'd had Sabro in as well, if I remember correctly. I mean, I may not be. It was a while ago. It was definitely last year. I'd say the end of summer, maybe.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be 6 months ago or so.
It felt like yesterday. I was going to say the start of this year. I was like, what?
I mean,
mate,
the crazy thing is it's April, guys.
We're already a quarter of the way through the year. I know. And we'll spend the next quarter of it inside playing our Final Fantasy.
It'll be.
Yeah, it will be. Absolutely.
It'll be quarter-teened.
It will. I mean, our conversation earlier about delays kind of has me itching to talk about maybe the consoles.
Itch.io
or the but we might return to that maybe in a little bit. But this, what's it called? Wood, Smoke and Sugar from Left-Handed Giant and Exale Brewing. It's absolutely roasted on the nose. Big roasted nose to it. It's, as you would expect for a stout, it is just super dark. It's got a lovely brown head, which is nice and bubbly. Doesn't lace too much. Well, you can't quite see that, can you? I was a bit through, but it is frothy. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, lovely roasted nose. Maybe a slight hint of chocolate in there as well. Ooh, it's smooth. It's really smooth, but you get that smokiness straight away, and that woody kind of tanniny element in there with that smokiness as well. It does have like a little creaminess, a little chocolate in there, a little coffee too. I mean, it's got a lot of different things just kind of picking away at the flavour, and it's almost got a slight sweetness to it. I know it's had brown sugar added to it. There is a slight sweetness in there as well. Let's drink some more and just to check. I mean, yeah. Oh. Ridiculous. Absolutely absurd. Yeah, there is a slight sweetness in there as well. It doesn't say there's lactose in it. That isn't included in the allergens. So there definitely isn't lactose in it. But it feels... I don't know whether it's the malts making it just a little bit creamy as well. There's not oats in this or anything like that, but maybe just like the combination of the chocolate and the crystal or something is just giving it that slight chocolatey creaminess, which makes it feel like there's a little bit of kind of lactose, a little bit of a milk quality to it as well, which I think is heightened by that little bit of sweetness, whether that's the brown sugar, whether that's the maple within that smoky kind of sense, or whether it's just a slight sweetness from those malts kicking through. But it's very easy. I know, was it last week, Aadil, you had a beer that was like super, super smoky?
Yeah. I think
it was the Duration one, which had like a smoky kind of bite to it, perhaps?
Yes. It's been a long week, though.
Wasn't it the one that was like red? I can't remember.
Yes, yeah, the Duration. The Duration one, yeah.
I just don't remember quite the tasting notes from it.
This, I mean, it's smoky, but it's kind of... It's not overpowering. You know, occasionally when we have a smoky beer that's just got that little bit of bitterness to it, it can kind of feel a little bit too almost ashy. This is super smooth, so that smokiness is really, really easy, and just kind of hovers almost in the background, just continuously kind of drying you out. It is just there, allowing all of these other sweeter and woody flavors to kind of come in at the front of your tongue, just like right there, right at the front, and everything else, this smokiness is just at the back, and they work kind of quite well together for this overall feeling. So as this sweeter and more sort of like chocolatey flavor kind of kicks through, it meets that smokiness really nicely. It's just too easy as well. What was it, 9%? Yeah, not a clue that it's 9%. No idea.
Nice. It's a good sign.
I'm going to keep drinking. Aadil, how was your beer?
Hazy yellow with a slight orange tinge. None at all. I mean that's why I tried to show the pour on camera, because it was like nothing's happening here. It's got a lovely sweet citrusy nose, like a tangerine almost. Oh, it's pineier than I would have thought. Get that tangerine-ness right away, but right at the beginning you get this sort of this like upswing of a piney taste, sort of a really narrow, like it's a hit of bitter, but it's very narrow banded bitter. It's not like it's like there's a specific point type of bitterness, and it's doing that. When that fades away, and you're left with this sweet citrusy flavor. There's almost a buttery texture to it, right before it ends, kind of dry, and just in that it has this a little more oomph in the mouth feel. So it has a smoothness, and then it sort of just, unfortunately, when that goes away, it's also a very quick taste. Like that whole journey was kind of done, and it leaves you with that sort of, it's like, again, that tangerine-ness with some bitterness. So it's almost like you chewed on the peel.
Yeah.
Is it quite soft? Is there like any carbonation?
There is, but yeah, I mean, it's actually surprising, given that there's no head. It's surprisingly carbonated. Like you feel the bubbles on your tongue on a small sip.
Yeah.
It's not like a lager or anything like that, but like it's not. It doesn't taste flat, right?
Yeah.
I really like it. It's interesting. I don't know the last time I had a beer or anything like this. Yeah, I mean, the reason I grabbed it was, one, it was there and choice was limited, but also I remember you guys both speaking about it, I'm like, I should join the club. Do you guys remember much about it? If I was a better man, I would have.
No, you said it was like, yeah. I just remember that. Yeah, you could tell that was a Deya beer. It felt. I remember. I think I had it on alongside it Yonder, and I was just surprised about like their flavors are like stuff that you've never tasted before, and I was like, oh, this is close to that, but yeah, I thought it was an interesting tasting beer for sure.
Yeah, I seem to remember that it kind of does. It does both Wylam and Deya quite well.
Yeah.
So I seem to remember that you still you know a Wylam beer, you know a Deya beer from kind of the processes, the way that they brew, the yeast that they brew with and stuff, and it gave me both of those breweries quite well. Exact tasting notes, sort of those orange notes, that piney kind of nature to it, I'm not specifically remembering. But I definitely remember that it gave me both breweries very, very well.
What was it called again?
Something about dreams.
There's nothing wrong with dreaming.
I'm sure it'll be on my somewhere.
It
Dreams
has
PS4,
a lovely. I didn't.
2020.
I forgot because you both have had it before. I was just like, oh, I don't need to talk much about the can, but of course, it has this really lovely, sort of
nonsense.
I mean,
machine.
it's a hot air balloon with a helicopter in the shape of with rotors on the top, in the shape of most of the head.
Yes, it's very sort
and
of
the basket
futurist,
has an eye on it. I don't know why you would call this nonsense, Ben.
It's very futurist. It's kind of like skyscrapers in the sky.
Yeah,
like drawing like human anatomy and stuff like that.
That's the kind of it's the kind of drawing I did. I mean, much more professionally and a lot better. But it's the kind of thing I thought up in my brain about 15 years ago, high as fuck.
Yeah.
Just sat there with a notepad while I'm doing like first year architecture drawings when I should be doing projects, and I'm actually just high doing fucking nonsense drawings. That's what it seems like to me. But that's good. It's brilliant. It's brilliant that there is just such a plethora of artwork out there.
Did we have this when you lot were up in Birmingham?
Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, that would be hilarious because I got it because I thought I'd never had it before.
Oh no, this was I had it in April last year.
Wow, it was that long ago. A year ago.
18th of April last year. Holy crap.
Fuck knows when I had it. I haven't got a clue. I haven't used Untapped for so long. I keep thinking I should use Untapped so I remember the beers that I've got and I can have some kind of order to them. So like at the end of the year, if we say,
why do you need order to your beer drinking habits? Come on.
Well, yeah, mine definitely shouldn't be put down because that's perfect for an intervention. Perfect evidence.
That's fair. Yeah, fair enough. Let's move on then. Let's talk about our other addiction, in one fashion or another. Games. You collect them.
About the
arrow. You collect.
It was that or nose candy. I should have said nose candy. I should have said cocaine and then sniffed.
Should have gone with or porn or something. Absurd.
I live in Montpellier. It should have been cat.
Montpellier's Mandyland, isn't it? I mean, it's. We won't go there.
I was like, how far are we going down?
Doom Eternal, Lucy.
Oh yeah, I don't really have much to say about it because I've only played about 2 hours of it, and I wasn't digging what I've played so far. I think a lot of people. Yeah, I just want to be given guns and to shoot demons. I don't want to hear about any story.
Oh,
the platform is okay. The story just doesn't sit. I think they went too serious on this story. It's like,
wow, okay.
It's like if they had just said, "Oh, you have like a, go kill the Hell Priest," I'd be like, "Cool." But then they say, "Oh no, these are the Hell Priests, and here's some dude on this planet," and they're like talking about lore and background. And it's just like,
oh no,
what? So I might just end up skipping the cutscenes the more I play this game. But it's a lot they throw at you at the start. It's like so many cooldowns and so many things that you have to focus on, like, oh, I have to manage, oh, this flamethrower I've got, and I have to manage dashes that I have, and it's just, it's a lot at the moment. I'm sure in time I'll get it, but it just feels like, oh, they just added systems upon runes and heroes.
Bombarded you with stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, I just want to shoot demons. I don't, just give me the best loadout and let me go rip and tear. This is like one of the problems that I had with like God of War back in 2018. We had to upgrade your armor and stuff like that, and in the end I just didn't do that until like the last, let's say, 10th of the game, and I was like, okay, I'll do this now because I'm probably going to go into harder combat scenarios. I'm going to need this. I just want a button where it's like, press A to get best loadout. Because it's like, this isn't an RPG. God of War wasn't an RPG as much as it tried to have RPG elements. It's like, just give me the best goddamn suit and just let me play the game. I don't want to be managing my plate armor. Like, come on now. I don't want to be worrying about what knee pads Atreus has. I don't want to be worrying about, oh, the Doomslayer, oh, he's got this, what shoes he's wearing. It's like, I don't care.
Just in open-toed sandals.
Yeah. It is hot in hell. So, but it's just like, so I haven't gone back to it since first playing it on like the day it came out.
Considering like 2016 Doom, you absolutely loved.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
When I was speaking to Scott about it, he said that
game.
he loved it. He absolutely loved it.
And you did this? What?
Yeah, he thought that, or he was saying that he liked how well paced it was, because I said I'm worried about the game just bombarding me with stuff. Like there's all of these new things, and he said, well, they introduced them quite well. They paced them quite well through sort of like the game and stuff. But from what you're saying, you seem like it's just like, here's all these things.
Yeah, everything, and they've given me 2 guns. Where's my double barrel shotgun? Give me the shotgun first, and then tell me about all this crap.
Yeah,
because all I care about is getting my double shotgun. I don't care about anything else. Can't give me the normal combat shotgun and be like, oh no, you got to do this and that. It's like, no, just give me what I want.
Double barrel shotgun is hidden somewhere, Lucy. You got to find it.
Oh, imagine if you just didn't get that automatically. I'd throw the disc out the window. I would absolutely. I'd set it alight. Anyway, at least I don't start you off with a pistol. But yeah, I'll continue playing it. See if I warm to it some more. But yeah, it looks great. Sounds great. The soundtrack's really good. It's weird because they gave you like a code to redeem like the soundtrack. They also gave you like a cassette tape, and I realised that my cassette player doesn't work, so can't listen to that there.
It's actually on a cassette tape.
Yeah, they gave you.
That's amazing. That's fucking amazing. You can put it next to your helmet.
Oh yeah, I've got a really good helmet.
Yeah, I just noticed it.
Gonna wear that out in the streets writing. But they delayed the soundtrack, so it's like you can't get it digitally, and I don't have a cassette player. So it's like, well, is it on Spotify? Yeah, I thought that was weird. But how do you delay a soundtrack? It's all in the game. Just rip it from the game. I don't know. Yeah, so that's weird. But yeah, Doom Eternal.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see kind of what you think further in. Whether once these new systems have established themselves with you, and you don't feel kind of as bombarded with stuff, and you're more in that flow. Whether whether that flow does appear, whether you're like, these have now hit with me. I've done them enough that actually I am flamethrowing these people to get this, I'm chainsawing people to get this, I'm melee killing to get this, I'm doing this to do this, and working through those different enemies and feeling that kind of power that you should with this, you know, with this game and this kind of loadout and being the Doomslayer. It's one of those where I think Wolfenstein did it quite well. Wolfenstein 2 did it quite well, where actually at the end of not Wolfenstein 2, hang on. So Wolfenstein the new Colossus?
New Colossus is the second one.
Yeah. What was the first one? The New Order?
New Order, yeah.
So you felt powerful towards the end of the New Order, and then the New Colossus kind of changed things up enough to kind of strip that away from you a little bit. Doom doesn't sound like it's done that at all. It sounds like you should go into this and just be fucking destroying stuff continuously. And yes, they'll throw in harder things, and hell has erupted on Earth, and all of this sort of stuff where you will have harder enemies that you maybe have to think a little bit more tactically about, or the encounter you have to think a little bit more about to make it more difficult, but you should still feel that power. You shouldn't be kind of overburdened by like, oh, now I've got to flamethrower this guy, or now I've kind of got to do this in this kind of way.
Yeah, because what I noticed was I started on Ultraviolence, which is like the one above normal, and then I ended up dropping it back down to normal, because what I found was that they want you to target these specific areas on these on like the demons, and I'm playing on console, I'm not playing on mouse and keyboard. It's almost impossible to, when all these other demons are like coming at you, you know, throwing, you know, balls of fire at you, to maybe, you know, once I get more runes that I can slow down time like that. But right now it's like, you're telling me I have to aim down a sight to go see this thing that's all the way over there, that's not coming closer. I have to, you know, I have to somehow get there when there's like 20 demons in front of me, and then without the need of aiming down the sight, shoot off these tiny little like turrets on this thing's back. Otherwise I'll just get completely destroyed. It's like, who made this game? Did anyone who worked on the 2016 game play this game? I never aimed down a sight the entire time I was playing the first game, and now they expect me to pull off some pinpoint sniper shots with a combat shotgun from halfway across the map. It's like, I don't get it. Yeah, I'll keep playing, see if I get those runes.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested, because I'm absolutely going to set it up. Scott and I were talking about kind of returning to do another discussion on Doom in you know, in not in a month's time from now, but a month after that discussion that he and I had sort of goes up. And I definitely want that to be you and him having that discussion about Doom.
Yeah, I hope I grow to love it as much as he does, but right now, I'm just thinking, what did you guys do? How did you manage to mess this up? You could have just made the same game over again, and I would have been perfectly happy.
Just up the guns a little bit, up the enemies a little bit.
Don't even have to do that. Just make it.
Just give me more.
Same thing. Just sell the same thing again.
Just get some of those snap maps or whatever they were, and just put it in the new game. Say it's new. Get your dev team go on a 4-year holiday. That would have been fine.
You want to go down and sell tigers in Costa Rica? Go ahead. It's fine.
Yeah, I've watched that.
I've not yet.
Let's not quite get into that. I'm only halfway through.
Yeah, I won't spoil it, but I thought it was okay. I preferred McMillions, which you should definitely watch.
Ooh.
That is a good... It's not really true crime. Like, it's crime. The FBI's involved, but it's McDonald's, though. Definitely watch McMillions. That is a good show.
Ooh, okay.
Characters in this? Well, watch McMillions.
Fair enough.
Is it set in the deep south? You know, is it set in that half of America?
It's set all over America, but I think a lot of it's set in like Florida.
I think that's almost what brings the charisma to Tiger King. Just the...
He's in Oklahoma.
He's, well...
And the other one's in Florida.
Isn't he in Utah?
No, Oklahoma.
Okay. And what's Doc? He's in Carolina, like just north of kind of just north of Florida, isn't he? In the next state up, I think.
South Carolina. Somewhere.
One of those,
Somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think the woman's in Florida. Yeah, she's in Florida.
Pure
Crazy
insanity.
people, yeah. Crazy.
Fucking hell. Let's finish almost as we started. We were talking about kind of game delays and how COVID-19 is impacting the industry, and I've been thinking a lot about the next generation consoles and how this is impacting the production and manufacturing and everything kind of going into making the next generation consoles for a release in what, 6 to 7 months time roughly. Again, we've had no word, as we haven't with lots of game devs, that things are being delayed or anything like that. Nothing has come out about any kind of delays or anything, but I would imagine that a lot of the stuff is manufactured in China for the consoles. And again, how, at what point do they get back into that manufacturing line? When are they scheduled in? How many units are they going to be able to kind of produce for a release? And whether maybe a release still comes on the day that they currently have planned. It is just, I don't know, 1 million units rather than 10 million units or something, like that.
I don't think they'll be too worried about it either. I think Sony, like, just from what you've heard anecdotally with them not sure about nailing down like the final parts and stuff like that, it seems like Microsoft, unless they're pulling a very good poker face, have kind of got that nailed down. They've very much shown like the interiors to like press and stuff like that, and let people tinker around with it. PlayStation seem, I mean, they've got dev kits out there, but they seem not quite so sure. I'd imagine most of it's like 90% of it's like hammered down, but even so, like, Sony have got what 100 million PlayStation 4s out there. They'll be fine. Xbox, I think they know that they were not going to sell gangbusters, especially straight out the door anyway. So I think, they'll project that it's like, yeah, we weren't going to light the world on fire anyway. So I think the fact that there will be shortages just probably make them seem more like people will want them more, like how Nintendo did the artificial scarcity. I think the fact that there will be scarce, I think people want them more, because that's how us humans with lizard brains work. I don't think they will be worried. I'd be more worried in terms of the software sales if anything would be an exclusive, but I think Microsoft have got that covered. They said, look, Halo is still going to be playable on your Xbox One X, your base Xbox One. God knows what that's going to run like, but it'll be on there. So it's they don't have to worry about that. I'd be worried for like third parties who are just like, no, we've made like the next Assassin's Creed, the PS5 and Xbox Series X exclusively. I'm sure PlayStation will work something out. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Just play The Last of Us 2 here. We'll just buy this again digitally.
But I mean, if you're a developer taking the like turnkey PC approach that Xbox has been pushing, right? That it's the same platform. You'll get more bells and whistles if you have a higher end machine, but it'll run fine, etc. Then like, I mean, that's like the thing they're selling, and for developers, then I think that they'll be developing with that in mind. Like, I'm actually less worried about, like, in that sense, this is a weird generation because Xbox is trying something new. In that it's like, what if you had stable PCs? Right? And so I think there's gonna be, I'm super curious with like the developers who are trying to do cross-platform things, how easy that would have been, will be, etc. given that it seems like PlayStation is doing a new console and Xbox is expanding their platform.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like? Is it just that now you treat the Xbox kind of like a PC release, and so you code for Sony and you make a scalable something? Because it's super interesting, but like because of that, I actually think that Microsoft's in a better position for exactly what you're saying, right? Like because they're pushing the platform, no one's going to be shocked. No one's going to be pushing a game that's just Xbox One XXX or whatever they're calling it, right?
Yeah.
Scarlex.
Because I don't know if PlayStation has said that, because their message has been a train wreck, to be fair, so far. But it's like they haven't really said if they're, because I'm sure one outlet reported that PS5 games will run on PS4, something like that, and then it wasn't confirmed, and Sony hasn't said anything about it. Yeah, who knows what the hell Sony?
I mean, I would imagine because Halo is looking like a launch title, isn't it? For the Series X, so I can see why they would want that to be a cross-platform, or not cross-platform, sorry, cross-generational title. I think with the PlayStation stuff, we don't really know any first-party games coming out for PlayStation 5. Whether they are, whether they're within the first year of the release of PlayStation 5. If they're later than a year, I can see them not being cross-generational. If they are within that first year, maybe. But if as we've kind of discovered, PS5 is going to be at least PS4 backwards compatible. So
asterisks.
Yeah.
Well, everything comes with an asterisk. Yes,
of course.
Theirs was a very the top 100 will.
No, that's not what they said. That's not what they said.
What did they say?
Cerny said the top 100 have been tested.
Oh, it's not even confirmed.
So the top 100 have been tested.
The top 10 of the top 100.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't remember exactly what he said, but the top 100 have been tested.
Yeah.
And paraphrasing, he said most of them. And I don't know exactly what word he used, but whether he said like 98 of them worked or 90 of them worked, and it's fine. But they said that they are expanding that like continuously. So
imagine if your favourite game was 101.
Or the one that doesn't work is like Spider-Man or something like, or The Last of Us 2 just does not work on PS5. But I would imagine that they're just expanding that continuously, and that's probably going to be it for them with backwards compatibility. That PS4 will be how far back they will take that.
I think they have to come out at like E3 and say, well, whatever was going to be their E3 press conference, or not E3, and say, oh, just kidding, it's going to be PlayStation 1, 2 and 3.
Oh mate, to get PlayStation 3 they're going to have to do some fucking serious work.
I don't think they are though, because that thing will have enough fucking juice. Like the biggest problem was emulating the cell processor, but you can brute force emulate it. It's just like efficiently emulating it is hard because it's a crazy architecture. But when you can just build a fake one and just throw cycles, like then PS3 games pin your fucking PS5's fans something fierce, but you can play it. Right?
I don't think it will be a case of you can put disc or anything like that, or it won't be day one. But they have to come out and say, look, 50% bulletproof. Here it is on us.
Def Jam Vendetta.
Yeah, we recycle all those contracts with the rappers who are still alive. And their estates.
That must be only about 70-60%, mustn't it? Like
50 Cent needed money. Here we go. Yeah. I wish, but they have to. That's their thing up the sleeve.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think so. But so essentially we're saying that consoles probably aren't going to be delayed?
No.
I think they might be, but
Ooh.
I don't think it will matter as much as it might have been in the previous generation.
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on like the next few weeks. Like China's not reporting new cases, but the reporting's bad.
Yes.
So like, but also there's a backlog, right? So like, I think that companies will be throwing money around to jump the queue and be the first back on the manufacturing train, or access to parts and stuff, and it might not be worth paying through the nose when everyone's kind of broken and then presuming brokenness. Like it might be a shrewd thing to be like, look, the world got fucked, so it's not going to be Q4 2020, it's going to be Q1 2021.
Yeah. You know what? The thing is that nobody's going to suffer.
No,
They've
absolutely
already
not.
made projections. It's like this year is bad and on fire. Nobody's gonna leave that.
And again, like as you say, Aadil, there might be other ways around it as well. You know, Sony had this certain part that was going to go into this product, and instead now they jumped the queue, and actually it's still made, but the first 10 million of them go to the PlayStation instead of this camera or this phone or whatever else they were kind of projecting.
You think I can get like
you just want to play
this cassette player?
Yeah, because it's not working, and I haven't touched it in 10 years. And why wouldn't it not be working?
Wait, you have a Walkman?
Yeah.
That doesn't work?
Yeah.
Take that down to the fucking store, mate. Get it sorted.
eBay that
considering
shit.
that.
Actually, I wonder how eBay's doing.
Not right now, maybe. Not right now. Who knows who those people in that shop have fucking touched?
Right, yeah. It's like, doesn't work. Doesn't work. And I was like, is it the motors? I put perfectly good batteries in it.
Oh, look at that thing.
Wow, it's tiny.
No, I think my hands are just huge.
No.
These were the size that they were, Aadil. We've just grown up.
No, but I had my last walk. Oh no, that's my second to last Walkman was one of those like Panasonic Shock things. No, I'm confusing with a Discman. No, there was the Discman that was a Shock thing.
The Discman, I had the Discman. Man, like I can't remember if it was like the second or third edition Sony Discman was like 3 or 5 mil wider than a CD. Like it was as slim as it could fucking possibly be.
It was bigger than that. But it was thin.
Yeah, like one of the first generation ones, but like after a couple of iterations, they got it down so slim to that disc. Yeah, maybe 5 or 8 mil or something. You're kind of that much bigger. The disc is this, and you're kind of this sort of size. So
I remember that. Like it used to be all the rage to have a Discman that was basically the size of it was like a case for the CD, and then had like a little breakout box attached to it for your controls and the actual like DAC and stuff.
I remember mine just about fitting my blazer for school.
Yeah, exactly.
Mate, I used to skate to school, so I had giant jeans with massive pockets, so I was always getting a fucking CD player in those.
And then when MP3 players came along, it was just like a LimeWire. It's just like, oh my god, I can have more than 10 songs to listen to.
In high school, this was back when CD burners were $500. I bought one because I was a game pirate.
Okay.
But I realized I could finance it by burning CDs for people at $10 a pop, and I would use a color printer and like I would print the labels. So I made like romantic mixtapes for people I knew, but they didn't know I made them because people would just be like, so you can make these things, and so they'd like I'd do proper cash deals and passing paraphernalia and whatever. But also people whose like CDs just got ratched to shit. They're like, these don't play anymore. Can you find this album? So I'd be sitting there on Napster and then Kazaa being like, fuck, why are all these fake? I need this stupid weird album. This person
like each single track at a time for a whole fucking album. Oh man, it was so.
And it was those that were the worst. Like it was actually easier to find a mixtape because usually it was like just whatever the fucking top hits were mixed in a way. But when it was like you need every track from some fucking weird album, it's like this isn't even a B-side. This is an F-side.
Yeah, exactly. Just in some IRC room, just like, this isn't on Napster. Has anyone fucking got this, please?
I got $10. I got to do it. It's like, I've spent 3 hours. This is not worth it.
Went on LimeWire, and it would either be music or porn. So.
Just lots of still images. Yeah, loads of fucking...
There must be porn musicals, hey? If not, how can there not be porn musicals?
That's the most Canadian thing you've ever said.
I'm sure there is.
I mean, that's just because Pornhub is a Canadian company.
Yeah. I think they're donating like money to sex workers.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Are they? Mm. Nice. Good.
I think they're getting, stuff like mass produced and manufactured and stuff like that. So yeah, Canadians doing their
hilarious!
Use your made the mistake of premium.
Yeah, I think it's a free month of premium or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a mistake of Googling Pornhub donate, and the first hit is a video search of the word donate on Pornhub, and I kind of want to click on it, but I don't want to know what donate porn is.
Of course it is.
That sounds like a really good place to finish for this week. Aadil, you and I have had 2 beers.
Yeah.
Which did you prefer?
I think we went back. Did you find that
I didn't.
That zesty flavour that you were trying to talk about?
Not quite. No, I think it's actually just the
citrusy and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's just the interaction of the Sabro and the orange puree or whatever they put in.
I meant the first bit that you had.
No, I think that's where like that zinginess is coming.
Oh, okay.
I really like it. It's interesting. I like the curve. With the Evil Twin, it kind of did what it did, and that was about it. But I really liked what it did. It's just a solid black IPA. Ending much more. I guess what my detractor is on the Evil Twin is that it was very malt forward and not as hoppy. Which I know is a black IPA. You're gonna be more malty, but it just didn't quite have enough going on in that respect. In the hop respect, I felt like I was hoping for more each time I had a sip. And there's nothing wrong with Dreaming. I'm not sure I would get a second one, which is why I was kind of on the fence. But I really enjoyed it, and it's interesting, and I found it interesting and enjoyable to try and figure out what the corners of the taste curve are doing, because it's not I'm not used to this sort of interaction. I'm not being able to spot things. So I think I'm picking There's Nothing Wrong with Dreaming because of the interestingness, but I don't think I would grab another one.
That's fair.
That's fair, yeah. It's alright.
For me, I'm kind of I don't know this week where to go, really. Both beers are very, very good. I think I'm almost in the same position as you, Aadil, with the left-handed giant and Exale, the wood, sugar and smoke. It's very, very good, but I'm not sure I'd grab another one straight away. So
I hope you wouldn't. You'd be on the floor.
As I drank, the smokiness started to fade a little bit, and actually the chocolate and that sweetness pushed through just a little bit more, and I was really enjoying that combination of of those kind of initial tastes and that smokiness working really well and being balanced very well together. But I think just as my palate kind of acclimated to it, the smokiness just lost a little bit of its touch to it. But it's a very, very well made and very tasty beer. The Northern Hellers, I think, whilst it's kind of a tasty beer that's not doing anything new, but it's very, very crushable.
Yeah.
And I think it would be easy to pick another one of these up and just drink it all day. It is 4.2%. It is, I would absolutely advocate that is sessionable strength these days. At least for those of us who drink fucking all the time. And it's just very, very well made. It's just a very good taste.
Yeah, it's one I always pick up, And did you... Like, I think the last time I ordered some... Was it Honest Brew? I think I got it from, like, Honest Brew. Beer Merchants or something like that. It's like... Yeah, I got, like, can of that and, like, a Colonel beer, like, 3 times. It's like... it's like... I know good quality. I know, look, I'm not going to pay over the odds for this. And it's going to do its job and it's going to be great. And it's one of those... This is consistently good beers.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, my Honest Brew order, which I've put in, which is still processing after, I think, 5 days. I think they said they've got up to about a 7-day thing at the moment because of all the orders they got on and the processes that they had to put and different deliveries and all this sort of stuff. I know that Lewis up at Bottles and Books has got this in. I think next week I will put an order in with him because I think I'm just within his radius for doing deliveries at the moment.
Oh, is he still doing them?
Yes, he is. He's still doing them. Yeah, and he's got new beers in as well because
because I'm definitely in the radius.
We found that the process and the industry is continuing. It's in a slightly different way than it was, but again, beers are being brewed. New beers are coming out. People are still able to work in breweries. These are still being delivered to bottle shops and bars, places that have adapted how they're distributing the beers that they kind of have. Bottles and Books are doing delivery services within a 4-mile radius, and I am exactly 4 miles.
4 miles is actually quite a big radius.
4 miles is big, and I double checked this because when I did my left-handed giant order, they said 3 miles. And I am within 3 miles on a radius. But as you drive, or in a car or on a bike, I'm about 3.4 or something like that. So there was a little bit of confusion around that. They still gave me my order. Very thankful to them. But they still said, yes, we'll still send you out your order. Lewis Bottles and Books is 4 miles by car on the road. So I know that I'm kind of within that. So I'm looking at his list constantly, just noting down the beers that I want. And
can you send me those notes?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
save me some trouble.
and this Northern Hell is definitely going to go on that list. I'm definitely going to have another one of these, or one or two, to save for that, that mid-afternoon sunny day beer. I just want to sit in the garden and I want a beer whilst we're sat out there with all of these other people in their gardens as well, growing all the shit they're growing while I'm just fucking sat there drinking beer. Using their gardens for the greater good because the apocalypse is here and vegetables aren't going to be available in the supermarkets,
What's
soon.
a vegetable?
They're growing peas and carrots, and Ben is making moonshine in his bathtub.
Exactly that, mate. Exactly that. I did buy a giant bottle of Bombay Sapphire and a bottle of Mount Gay, which I nailed almost in a fucking night the other day when we played some games.
I mean, that was the other thing I was going to talk about, which was communal gaming, but we can do that next week.
Yeah, we're going to have more of those nights.
Yeah.
I might have to go and buy more Mount Gay to smash.
I'll join you again.
Yes, and more of these Northern Hellers to drink as well, because it's such an easy beer. So that is my pick for this week.
Cool.
If you lot listening are in isolation, of course you are, and you're being good humans and staying inside, and you're drinking beers and you're playing some games, tell us about them. We are at @tankedup_cast. No. Yes. Did we change it? Are we underscore anymore? Or are we just tanked up cast?
No, we're tanked up cast.
Oh, I've got so fucking used to saying the underscore. We are tanked up cast on Twitter, on Instagram. You can go to outoflives.net, comment on any post, on any article ever made there, and just tell us what you're drinking. We'll find it. I shouted at someone today. I very politely told someone that they were rude, because they were rude about an article that was put up. Fucking don't come to our website and be rude.
I mean, do you think they saw it?
I fucking hope so. fucking hope they got an email alert saying this person has commented on your comment on this comment of a comment on an article on this website you've only been to once.
Well, I mean, actually, I should do a deep dive on the logs, see if I can figure out what his IP is and whether he's come before.
So come to outoflives.net.
Yeah.
We'll find your comment. Comment wherever you like. We'll see it. I see it. I see everything. Look at obviously all the other articles that are posted. I am at Nova_47. I'm not playing very many games over the old multiplayer at the moment. I know, just not not at all. Yes. There's too many people in my house at the moment for me to be able to play games who want the TV for other purposes and take up time.
It's the only way.
And realise that, actually I should be working rather than playing games. Lucy, you're at Juicy Loose 9 everywhere, right?
Yes, I am. I don't know what game I'll be playing next. I wrapped up in Other Waters, which we'll probably talk about next week.
Yeah.
I recommend it. That's all I'll say. We'll talk about it more next week. But yeah, don't know what I'm going to be playing next. But suggestions, Juicy Loose 9 everywhere. Nice.
Just to jump back to me, I've started Phoenix Point. I know I said in the last episode that that's what I would kind of play next. I played a little bit of it, and I'm really enjoying it. And that's probably something I'm gonna continuously play in between all of these other games. Load times are shite.
Oh.
I'll just say that.
On PC.
Yeah. Yep. Aadil.
That's one place you expect them to be good.
It
Well,
is. Yes,
they're
very
PC.
much is.
I mean, this is actually a problem with porting versus optimizing for PC because video games are primarily console.
Nobody optimizes.
I think Phoenix Point is a PC only game.
Oh, well, that's fucking yikes.
Yeah. But Aadil, you are at the Omniarch everywhere except Twitch.
Yes. That
Hooray.
I might actually use.
Yeah, what
day.
is your Twitch?
It's _Omniarch. It's that fucking underscore. I goddamn hate it. But there's some dude with the Omniarch, and he clearly doesn't stream. He hasn't done anything in years. But Twitch is very weird about getting rid of old names. They don't tell you when. They just, like a few times a year, just burn names, and then they become available. But they don't tell you when or why.
There's no alert on a name that you can
there you
put
are.
yourself on.
Yeah.
Follow.
Hooray.
Hey, how many times have you said your username on Twitch?
Yeah. To be fair, actually, I often just say I'm the Omniarch on all the things except Twitch, and then don't bother saying because I never use it.
Yeah.
But I caved and got Animal Crossing, forgetting that FF7 was around.
I might ask for that for my birthday.
And so I might stream some Animal Crossing because I can't stream some FF7.
That's fair. And you're being a good boy, not streaming that FS7. I mean, you could stream FS7.
Oh, I think I think if I streamed it, I would be breaking the user agreement. But
okay.
yeah,
Don't do that.
there's one thing spoiling, saying, "Oh yeah, it turns out it's just a demo." That's it. It's just 10 minutes of game. That you can say you can get away with, but like streaming, I think that you probably are actually.
Yeah, that's fair.
Otherwise, I would stream the whole fucking game. I mean, playing anyways. Why not?
Look forward to that in the next couple of.
Yeah, I'll just play twice.
Next week, I suppose.
A week tomorrow.
Yes.
Which now you can do the calculations, folks, on when we recorded this.
Yeah.
You'll be able to talk about it next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was hoping about it. Yeah, I mean,
I'll get a pillow for that conversation.
It's at least actiony, right? Like it's not. It's this less shitty JRPG. From your
Why did you
perspective.
assume that was the part I hated about it?
Because you don't like RPGs, and you definitely don't like JRPGs.
You're right. 100%.
Oh, good. So, for another week, we have been tagged up. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye. Anime.
www.outoflives.net